We're joined by one such comedian who's been making waves, and that's Tinashe Fortune Manyowa. He's a rising star in the comedy world, known for his captivating stage presence and versatility as a performer. I'll tell you a story. I think I was probably a month or two ago during the Propaganda World Tour. He was doing the links and introducing the different artists that were there. And I remember watching him at that point in time and thinking he should be doing his own shows. I'm going to talk to him about that, but I'm going to dive straight into it. Good morning. Thank you for making time to join us this morning. How are things going your end?
I think things are going quite well. Things are starting to shape up, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
I always like speaking to creatives because I think that's what comedians are. You guys are creatives, but more importantly for me, it is your worldview, the social commentary, and something that maybe you guys don't always get credit for, the intelligence. Because for you to then package it in a joke, I've always felt like you have to be able to observe and then articulate it in a way that me and everybody else can find.
A lot of people don't really get how intelligent it is to be able to craft a joke. Like, you're supposed to see that which is hidden in plain sight. You're supposed to be able to observe that very little thing that people don't see but they can actually relate to. Like, you come through and you're like, if you do this and you do this, and then I've seen this happen, but I've never observed it. Like, I haven't paid attention to it. So for me to be able to do that, it takes a lot.
So, I mean, is that something that comes naturally to you, that observation and then distilling it into a joke? Because I've always felt, watching comedy, whenever I feel like, I wish I could have thought of that. or the moment it lands in the way that you've just articulated, where somebody just goes like, hey, it comes out so simple. Does that always come naturally to you? How did you know or realize that you were even funny and that this is something that you wanted to do?
I think to begin with, it has a lot to do with you as a person. Like, for example, we have you, right? You know how to ask a question that can extract information from the person that's in an interview. That's the very same thing. For me, you get to a point where you know what to see and what then to tell people for them to find it funny. So I think it happens naturally. Like, just seated, instead of you're gonna focus on you're gonna focus on speed but just speed that's how you create a funny story.
So if I'm getting you right, sometimes it's that attention to the detail that at a surface level the average person doesn't necessarily pick up on.
There might be, it might, like I've mentioned, it might be something that someone actually sees but you don't pay attention to it, right? You're gonna be like, the movie. Mike Zamba, have you ever seen Mike Zamba?
I felt like that was the beginning of you crafting a joke. Maybe not now, but like for
because they just thought of it. Mike Zamba, but then you never see it saying, put your hands together for the next act. Put your hands together for our guest. Like, you don't see it. It's something that we've gotten used to the Mike Samba, and it's very normal. So I was at home, why is it that Mike Samba doesn't speak English, neither Tich? But the moment that someone brings it up, you start to think about it. But answer number one is not
that's interesting. So obviously you clearly have a passion for comedy, and I know, especially more recently over the last couple of years, you've been honing your craft. I think we can talk about the Family Meeting Comedy Tour. It was 2022. The Kwan Tutu Comedy Festival was 2023 this year. I think the first time I probably saw you part of that propaganda tour with King Kandoro. I think I saw Slick Pasta was also there on one of the shows. What has that been like for you now, watching not only yourself being thrust into those spaces where you get to, explore, develop, grow your craft, but more importantly, share it not just with your colleagues, the King Kandoros, the Slick Pastors, and the different comedians that are there, but then see it land with audiences. Because it's one thing to be like, I might just have it's a number that's and for you to think it's funny, and then another thing to be on stage and then hear a whole theater burst out laughing.
Yeah.
What's that like?
For me, I think, for me, that's like one of the happiest I can be, to be able to have a thought and then you put it out and then people get it as you intend. One to say, feeling a joke.
It's addictive.
So for me, it's very special. And to have Vanwagetasana King Kanduro, Vanwagetasana Nijo call you and be like, Mfana wangu, I'm going on tour. I need you to be on this. I want you to be on this. Like, he doesn't owe me anything. They don't owe me anything. But for someone like that to have you, what's all right? Come. You need even man, like a wand. I have a lot of people who are coming through to see me perform, but I would want those people to get to know what you're capable of. To have someone believe in you to that extent, I don't know, and you get to a point where you're like, what if, I've always asked myself, what if I'm just funny to
your friends?
My friends, I want, because you get to a point where your friends think you're funny, probably not because you're funny, but because they are now used to you. He's trying to be funny. Now, to be put in a space where in back in 2020 he did Celebration Center. I got there toilet within a space of 2 hours. And I had never been exposed to such an audience.
Sorry, I'm going to have to kind of, because our time's about to run off. Just briefly, maybe just give us an idea of what you're working on, what can we expect, where can we find you, just in 20 seconds as we remember. Sorry, our time is just...
All right. So to begin with, Spanish Show Yatrugu is an online item known as Intoxicated. It's a show that looks at current affairs, affect people, everyday stories for everyday
So
people.
that's on YouTube or Facebook?
YouTube. Yeah, YouTube.
Okay, YouTube.
It's on YouTube. All our content is the YouTube.
And how do people find you on social media?
Social media, it's Tinashe Fortune on Instagram, Tinashe Fortune on Facebook, and Ubatika Quest. And then we have a show coming up on the 30th of this month at Batanai Gardens. We're just having a comedy show. It's me and my friends. We just jokes.
All right, so absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, our time's run out. It's always good sitting down with creative people, and you can follow Tinashe on his social media pages. We'll post this clip online. You can get the details, and let's continue supporting our creatives.